Hello YouTube, and welcome to today's tutorial where I will be teaching you how to make my desktop wallpaper. It's a still image, and in this video we're going to be using Cinema 4D Bojo. No, actually we're only using Cinema 4D today, so that's easy. So first what you're going to do is the actual picture. So I've got my iPad here, as you can see, and I've got a really good light, and this is my scene here that I want. So just looking at my iPad screen, I am taking a picture of this Rubik's Cube, which I am later going to edit with Minecraft characters and make really cool. So this is going to be my Minecraft wallpaper, my wallpaper now. Okay, so I'm just going to put it here and then take that photo. Okay, and I'm going to X out of that. And go into image capture. I'm going to go right down to the bottom. And I'm going to grab this new picture that I just took. I'm going to drag this onto my desktop. And let that import. And I'll close my iPad. Okay, now that I have got the image, let's X out of image capture and go to Cinema 4D. Okay, so first you're going to click on create, new material, double click material, click on the three dots which says texture. Now click on the image that you just imported, click no, sampling none. Okay, that's pretty much it. And also right click on the sphere here and click plane. Okay, and now what you're going to do is hold this floor and drag in a background. Now drag the material in from the background drag the material into the background. Now you have your background. Let's render this and we can see that we have our background. Okay, now let's add a plane to cast shadows. But before we do that, you see this rotation button. Use that to level the plane. So you see the grid. Make sure the grid is like on the floor of your table. So see how my grid is lining up with my table now, and looks like the grid is the floor of the table. That's what you want, so it's easier for us. Okay, and to keep this position, we're gonna hold camera and click camera. Now we have a camera. Okay, so if we click this, now we can we have a camera here. And even if we lose the grid's position, we can click on the camera and we can go back to our original position. I'm going to go back into the camera, and now I'm going to drag in a floor. Okay, so do not move around with your camera, because if you do, it's going to look really weird. Okay, so that's our floor. Okay, so now what you're going to do is drag the material from here into the floor. Okay, it looks weird. So let's go into the projection here and click on frontal. Okay, looking a bit dark though, if you can see that. Get out of render. Okay, now what we're gonna do is go into floor, right click, Cinema 4D tags, compositing. Once you click on that, tick compositing background for HDR maps. Untick self-shadowing, untick cast shadows. Okay, now you should have like a perfect background, just like before. Okay, so like before, I'm just going to come out here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add a Minecraft rig. So let's just go into YouTube and type up Cinema 4D Minecraft rig. Alright, and what you're going to do is you're going to download the Frost Minecraft rig. This is the one that I use. Okay, so download this link. Okay, and now import onto your desktop or anywhere onto your computer. Yeah. So I'm just gonna navigate to where I put the file that I downloaded, and now I'm gonna go into my Macintosh applications, Cinema 4D, library, you do not have to put it here, but I've got my Steve rig here, and as you can see, here's my Stevie rig. And yeah, there we go. Here's Steve. We go back in and it looks like Steve is standing on our table. But it doesn't look that realistic because there's no shadows. So let's add that. It's even a little bit off in terms of position. So I'm just gonna let's just change the rotation of this position just a little bit, like that. Now if I render it, yeah, it looks a bit better. Just play around with it so it looks like Steve's actually standing on that table. Look at the angle of these objects and just like play around with it. I'll just keep it for now. Okay, so how we're going to add shadows is because we added this floor, right? So it's going to be easy, but we need the lighting to come from the same position as where you took the photo. So if you have sunlight, you can just use the sunlight, but I have an area light because as you saw my lamp, it's coming from a direction which is behind the camera. So I'm going to add a area light behind the camera, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to come out of this camera. I'm going to go in here. And it was actually a pretty big light, so the intensity was 100%, so that's good. There we go, just drag that up. And as you can see, there is no shadow because we have to go into our light, click on shadow, and shadow maps soft. So once we do that, we can see that Steve now has a shadow. But it is looking a little bit off. Let's just go into our camera and see if it works. Okay, so we can see that our Steve is off the floor and is not standing perfectly, is he? Wait. There we go. We just need to get Steve to stand on the floor perfectly. There we go. That looking better. Okay, now let's pose Steve. Okay, let's make Steve look good. Okay, so because you want to put a lot more effort into this, but for tutorial purposes, I'm just gonna do this really quickly, like a little karate. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna. Why am I having problems with this? I hate this. I hate it when this happens, like you just can't focus on one. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Go to object. Okay, now I'm going to go into layers and untick these two locks, and there we go. Okay. There we go. I love this rig. It's so simple to use. It's actually what I use for everything. There you go. That's fine. Whoa. Okay, so that was quite easy, but here's the most important part. Right click on your image, get info, all properties on Windows, depends which one you're on, okay, and look for the resolution or dimensions, 2592, so go into your rendered settings and enter this, 2592. Okay, 1936 is for the other one, 936, okay? Now we're going to go into our save and file, and we're just going to go background image for me, and I'm going to make it a JPEG, easiest, an effect, ambient occlusion, and global illumination, okay? Enter your camera and click render. Seems to be taking a while for this one, so I'm just going to X out of this, yes, and I'm going to go into render settings, and untick these two because it takes a while for it to render. I'm not doing it in professional quality, so I do not want that, but you can use that. I'm just going to quick render it and let it render really quickly. There it is, as you can see it. Oh gosh, I'm so zoomed in. And there's our character, as you can see. He looks awesome. You could just add facial expressions next time. And there we go. Should be here now. I'm just going to set as desktop picture. There we go. Looks amazing. Well, it looks okay. But there, you can, this one was made in like 15 minutes using that technique there, and it was quite easy. I hope you had fun in this tutorial and make more pictures like this, and I will see you next time in another tutorial of motion tracking. Okay, bye.